After an intensive 6-month search covering 10 SADC countries, the finals of the FemBioBiz Acceleration Program has finally arrived. Who will be judged as the winners of our student category? In this episode, we are at the FemBioBiz Pitching Den in Cape Town to view the presentations made by our 6 regional student finalists. The FemBioBiz Pitching Den is a high-level forum where businesses and funders interact with our students, affording them the opportunity to access financing and support. The winners will also be securing a once-in-a-lifetime, all-expenses-paid trip to attend Slush in Finland, one of Europe's biggest startup events. The competition has been really close, with some innovative products being pitched. Congratulations to all our students who made it to the finals of the FemBioBiz Season 2 competition. The stage is set for the students to convince our panel to buy into their ideas. But first, let's meet the 4 industry professionals who make up our judging panel. Please welcome Simbarashe Mudimbu, the Senior Manager at Lifeco Unlimited SA Group, who brings a wealth of financial knowledge and experience to the table. Introducing Mashuping Dipoko, an experienced and highly knowledgeable research analyst who is currently Senior Analyst at the Public Investment Corporation. Marnix van Holland represents HIVA Southern Africa as Program Development Manager, responsible for providing support to the SADC entrepreneurship ecosystem. And last but not least, Erv Kubimwana, who is Program Manager and African Program Lead for the Global Merck Accelerator. Here to share their idea for a protective antimicrobial polymer toilet seat cover, Obame Ramala and Kamogelo Mereki. Will the judges be giving them a sitting ovation?
We all use a toilet, but the thought of using a public toilet makes our skin crawl. This does not only increase possible contamination on the toilet seat, but also infection for the toilet user. We are selling an idea in development of designing and manufacturing a toilet seat mat that is antimicrobial. Our toilet seat mat will use nanoparticles to eliminate microbes from the toilet seat. It will be super absorbent and assure quality and a clean seat for the user through color indication. We're targeting hotels, we're targeting restaurants and airlines, but through development, we're also targeting entities that have a lower purchasing power, such as your malls, hospitals, and schools. We are asking for $50,000 US, 75% of which will be towards research and development, and 25% towards market research. Thank you.
Hi, Bami. Thanks for your presentation. Could you just tell me a bit more about how the product works? Is it a single use? I wasn't quite sure how it works in terms of...
Okay, firstly, we're looking at the fact that in between cleans, there's no protection for the toilet user. So our product will be offering that protection once the toilet has been cleaned, and within those windows where there's no cleaners to come and clean the toilet. Depending on the material that we're going to be using and also the color indication process that we're looking into, it can be effective for hours, and also depending on customer preference, even days.
So the color will indicate when it needs to be changed?
Yes.
Okay. And then is there any possibility of intellectual property on this? Is it something that you could patent or copyright or?
We're in the process of patenting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just on that, so what happens? Just give me a practical view, right? So I would go into a toilet seat, into a public toilet, then I would put the mat on.
The mat will be put on by the cleaners.
Oh, the mat will already be on,
there,
so
yes.
I can't buy it for myself. It has to be bought by whatever institution, right? Oh, okay, all right.
Obviously, you're using advanced materials for that problem. Why toilets? I'm thinking, why not going into food or medical or other markets that could possibly actually generate more money? Why toilets?
Why toilets? Like I said, we all have to use the toilet at some point or the other. So the market is pretty big, even in that sense. The application of nanoparticles is actually very widespread. It is there in the medical industry, but with where we're looking into, it's very feasible.
So this has been the most amazing, enriching experience being in this competition, because it took my business to another level. It taught me skills that I never had, like thinking of strategies, fetching the future, how to be proactive, getting one step further in how to market myself, how to be a better business person, and how to tackle the stuff that I used to be very scared of, which is financials and getting customers, but just taking off my science hat and just being now a proper business person.
Meet Ursula Banda, an MBA graduate from the ALU School of Business who plans to add value to the indigenous moringa seeds for cosmetic purposes. She requires seed funding to grow her business to the next level. Will the panel supply the ingredients she needs?
Many people in this room will never understand what it's like to live in a country where you can't just walk into a store to find skin or hair products. There are 3 ways we access this in my country. For those who've got the income, they actually go to boutiques, or when you have a family member coming from overseas, you ask them to bring you something. And usually if you go to a local boutique, you can find a shampoo but not the conditioner for the same range, maybe find a cleanser but not the toner. The average person just has to walk to a market, you go to a vendor store, and then you buy chemical-laden cosmetics. These are full of hydroquinone, steroids, mercury. The solution, moringa, the tree of life. It handles everything. Right now, people are using powder because that's great for your smoothies and you sprinkle that on your salad, but little to anything is being done with the seed. The seed is liquid gold. Cold press it. The oil itself actually handles inflammations. It helps with wrinkles. It helps even your skin tone. The value proposition is this. Create a hair and skincare line that's going to do 3 things. Create jobs, give people access to safe cosmetics for their hair or for their skin, as well as reduce post-harvest waste, because we're throwing away these seeds because the average farmer doesn't know what they have in their possession.
I'm just interested in the supply chain of the moringa. It's called moringa?
Yes.
Does that grow in Malawi?
Yes.
And what's your plan around getting enough of that to be able to make the product?
So it's grown in Malawi, but few people in Malawi consume it. Where we're selling most is in China through JICA and through the One Village, One People program. So they actually they gave farmers about 2-3 years ago, because it takes about 3 years for the plant to grow. They gave them 3 years ago to grow this. What they're taking from that is the bark and the roots, and they turn them into some health drinks, and the leaves into powders for shakes and sometimes even pills. But the seeds, they keep throwing them away. So there was a cooperative that actually discovered that if you cold press them, you can get some oil out of it, but they didn't know what to do because it's very bitter. So the supply chain, in the meantime, with what we have, there are cooperatives, and most of these are female-led, which is great, because then it means that the jobs are creating as well.
My internal feminist was also going like, hey, what about the men? Specifically when you talk about hair growth. My growing bald spot right here is showing the, I don't know how many billion-dollar industry of men looking for hair growth. So definitely look into that.
Okay, I got feedback from that from one of my advisors. They said that for men it's beard growth, but for average black men, they generally shave their hair, so maybe the skincare would be an area. But thank you, I'll look into that for other races where they keep their hair longer. But you're right. As I said, it's for skin and for hair. So whoever wants to look after their skin, these days men are more conscious about that too. So it's open. It's just that women are the ones who are likely to spend more on beauty care, even under recession.
Let's hear from the country coordinator on the value of partnerships in the FemBioBiz program.
It's a right step in the right direction. You know, getting more women to really be recognized at the regional and the global level is really an achievement for the country. And also looking at the efforts that have gone into ensuring that these bio-entrepreneurs coming from Zambia get the necessary exposure, and a part of the larger regional network that enhances, gender entrepreneurship, particularly in science and innovation, is really a great achievement. And so as we create being country coordinator for the FemBioBiz program, this is very exciting. We know just how difficult it is, especially for startup, women-led bio enterprise-based companies to really, commercialize. The early stage is usually the most difficult, because you don't have as many investors have confidence that these are businesses or ideas that could be taken into market.
The next pitch is by Butu University student Tlotlo Puruhudu. She saw an opportunity to make animal feed supplements from indigenous tree leaves after treating the sick goats on her farm. Will the judges buy into her natural remedy and assist other goat farmers?
So I was at the farm and I realized that some of my animals or goats were affected with internal worms. They showed signs of blindness, diarrhea, and some farmers were experiencing an extent of death to their goats. Also a challenge of expensive feed. So that's why me, Tlotlo Puruhudu from Healthy Delights, have come up with a solution to bring animal feeds using crop residues and our indigenous trees. In terms of our attraction, we've managed to sell some of our feeds and in a local store in the Southern District. We've also come up with a prototype that you may see there that is a proposed medical solution to internal worms. We promote local farmers by getting a portion of their crops that they have planted during the plowing season, and also we have an abundant of indigenous trees that have a natural shading process that we're using them as part of our medicinal solutions. We're asking for $40,000 US, which 54% will go into our machinery and equipment, and 25% will go into our research. The test we want to do is a formulating test to prove that indeed these feeds have that healing element in the animals. Thank you. Like I always say, a healthy animal, a delighted farmer.
So who's the target type of farmer? Can you tell me who your typical farmer would be? How much land do they have? How much stock? How many head of animals, etc.?
120 goats.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the difference between what's available, what they are currently using, and yours?
What makes me better, like I've mentioned before, is that I have included indigenous trees that have medicinal purpose for the animals. Yes.
Hi, thank you for the presentation.
Yes.
You said that your produce deworms.
Yes.
Please explain what that means. Does it kill the worms that
Yes.
cattle might have?
Yes, it does.
Kill the worms?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said that the university is busy with, proving the technology or something?
Yes.
So who's going to own it? When they've now given you a green stamp, like, yes, it's done. Who's owning it? Is it you?
Yes, I'm owning it. Yes, I've applied for the patent. Yes.
You've applied for the patent.
Yes.
And the university is not getting equity in the company.
No. The university has just done testing for the trees.
Okay.
That was their end of the part. Yes.
Since it's deworming and it's medicinal, right? How many suppose in a flock of 10 goats, right? How many die or usually get sick because they have worms inside?
In my case, I had 10 goats. I lost 3 and the rest were blind.
Okay, so
Yes.
this improved the blindness and then the others were healed.
Yes, they got healed.
Okay.
But I lost the 3, so imagine losing 3,000.
Let's hear about the value of partnerships in the FemBioBiz program.
In 2018, our FemBioBiz competition was bigger and better than what we did in 2017 In 2018, we had more partners. So I just want to thank all the partners, all the banks, all the judges who partnered, who gave us money, who gave us various forms of sponsorship. We just want to thank you and say that we could not have done it without your support, and we do value your support. And next year, we are going to host season 3. We need to work with you. We value your partnership. So please, next year, come on board.
Next up is Godfrida Masaiti. Her innovation is a transdermal body patch which will provide for the administration of antiretroviral and other long-term drugs. But will our panel see the benefits of this idea?
This is an HIV patient. His health is deteriorating faster than it should be. Like many others, he does not adhere to medication. His reasons are because it is tiring, they forget to take the medication, and also it is very inconveniencing. Like, look at these medications that these people take. This is an example of a regimen that someone who is HIV positive is supposed to take every day of their lives. Imagine how tiring and inconveniencing that would be. This is a solution that I have come up with. A transdermal patch that is going to deliver the drugs for as long as a week. And then this is another one, a subdermal patch that is going to deliver the ARVs under the skin for as long as a month, which is even better than taking every day of your life. This product is going to be very cost effective. It will be at least $10 for the transdermal patch and at least $50 for the subdermal patch, compared to the current cost, which is $2,800 for only 30 tablets. I'm estimating about $98,000 for my product development. I have already patented it. This is the registration.
Could you talk to me a bit about what you would think your market strategy is? So once you've actually built the product, how do you plan to take it to market?
Okay, most of these drugs, especially Africa, are subsidized by the government and they're bought through non-governmental organizations because they're very expensive. So I would like to partner with the Ministry of Health across the countries and also use the non-governmental organization and pharmaceutical companies, because since they have the expertise to produce my drugs and make it go out there in the market.
Would you consider licensing your technology to a bigger pharmaceutical company, for example?
Yes, I would.
And then my other question was around your patent. Is that patent for your company, or does the university have or is that for the university?
For my company.
Okay.
The certificate is there, it has my name.
So I wondered about how does it stand against current medication like PrEP, in terms of how does it work, and things that if it is exactly similar to how that works. And second of all, if you know anything about the market around patches, because in theory I think you can do anything via patches. However, still a lot of people consume pills instead. There's probably a reason behind that, which I don't know, or an idea. This could also be something to look into from a market perspective.
Okay, I'll start with the PrEP. For my product, which is even going to make the market bigger, because PrEP are ARVs. PrEP is not a special medication. Those are just ARVs. So I will use PrEP for my product also, PrEP which is and also post-exposure. So I'll use both post-exposure prophylaxis and pre-exposure prophylaxis for my product. So the market will even be wider, even for those who are HIV negative will be able to take the product. And then for the patches, the reason why people do not use patches really is because of the knowledge. A lot of people don't know them. Even in Africa, a lot of people don't have that. It's not, and they're usually used for antibiotics and scopolamine, which is a traveling pill. And usually people, especially in Africa, we don't really need that. We can travel without drugs, it's fine. And then I will use the patch for HIV, which is very necessary, and people will obviously need that. Instead of taking every day, you take it for a week, a month, and you're good to go.
It means for me to at least network with more people, get my product out there and come up with a prototype. Since mine is on research and development stage, I am going to, this is a good opportunity for me to come up with a prototype through networking and knowing more people and seeing what others are also doing.
Clara Penacela is a student in Mozambique who is using cassava and nyembe beans to bring a nutrition product to market.
Mangemba's flour is still in ideal phase and aims at the production of a mixed flour of cassava and nyemba bean. In Mozambique, produced about 14.7 million tons of cassava, but only 0.3% of this cassava were processed. One clear indicative of underutilization and waste of cassava in Mozambique. And similar results were found to the nyemba bean. So why we don't use these two underutilized cultures to produce a cheaper and complete source of nutrients? We are bringing here the solution, the mixed flour of cassava and nyemba bean that can provide a complete source of nutrients. Yes, our clients we expect to sell for more than 3,000 low-income families and hospitals and orphanages. We identified 1 hospital and 5 orphanages, and we already had a conversation with 1 hospital and 1 orphanage, and they are able to test our product. Now we are looking for funding of $13,000. This amount is to buy machinery and equipment and for investment in management fund. And we are looking also for partnership with people who will help us to develop a marketing strategy.
Just a quick one. What will happen if you cannot find the 13,000?
Now I need this money. I already have installations. I need this money to buy the equipment here. I already developed a prototype at the university, as you see there. And we already made a preliminary sensorial analysis, and we got good results. So to start a company, to produce significant quantities, we need this money.
Okay, I think you may have touched on this in your presentation, but could you tell me again, is anyone else producing this flour?
No, this is an innovation.
Okay.
Yeah, we are mixing these 2 cultures because the cowpea bean is rich in proteins and the cassava is rich in carbohydrates. So if you join them, you will have a complete source of nutrients, a complete vegetal protein.
Okay, and there's not a similar product in the market at the moment using these 2 ingredients?
No,
okay.
No. These 2 cultures are underutilized. And who produce these 2 cultures are small farmers, and they are low-income people, and they are malnourished at some time.
Have you had people using it and giving you feedback? And what's the feedback you've got in terms of your potential buyers?
As I said, we already made a prototype, and we made also the preliminary sensorial analysis. And we got a nice feedback. We did it at the university. And when I had a conversation with 1 hospital and 1 orphanage, and they are able to test. They are our potential buyers.
But they haven't tested it yet?
Not yet, but it's the next stage, next step.
Do you need the money, or do you need to raise money to be able to get some of them to test it?
Our panel have absorbed, reviewed, and discussed all of the incredible presentations. So which 2 students make the biggest impression and will be declared as our student category winners and join the other category winners on a trip to Slush in Finland? Godfrida Masaidi, University of Zambia, Medical Transdermal Patch. Nomahlubi Nazo, University of Cape Town, Medical Biopolymer Film. She also won 75,000 rands from the SAB Foundation and attracted investment from an angel investor. Watch our next episode as the search for innovative African solutions continues.